Well, hello and welcome to the Swift Motorsports Hyperdrive Cup Series, live for round 11 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. But what is more significant is it is chase race number 1 for the Hyperdrive Cup Series here at Swift Motorsports. I'm your commentator, Vern Bradley, in the booth tonight, and we're going to get the chase started right here at Swift Motorsports. So welcome to the stream. Glad we had a few people hang out, wait for this thing to get going, and these guys are going to put on a heck of a show just like they do week in and week out. But we have some of these guys that are racing for a championship, so why don't we take a look at that? Up on your screen, you're going to see the playoff bracket. That's right, the playoff bracket for the Hyperdrive Cup Series here at Swift Motorsports. And on that bracket is going to show you the drivers that are in the chase, and those drivers will be competing for a championship. So taking a look at the bracket, it's no surprise. Michael Mueller, the 51. The 28. I need to look at points too while I'm doing this, so I think I got ahead of myself. Well, the 51 and 28 are definitely in it. Andrew Mraz in the 28. Roy Fernandez there in the 3. Got Tommy Haynes in the 17. Cody Sleeper in the 01. Got Justin Gann there in the 30. John Wimbish, 56. I don't know what is going on with my screen, but I got a little flashing. Hopefully you guys aren't seeing that on your end. You see Cogswell's in there, Jonathan Cogswell, Cody McFadden, Mike Franklin. Jason Wells there. Blair Patterson in the 91. So we got our 12 drivers that are going to be competing for the championship, and that's going to start tonight in Atlanta. And I don't see the same playoff bracket that I put on the screen. I had to go through the points. That's why I might have been a little bit out of order there. It'll be okay. I had to go off the regular points. But I had to bracket there because they sent it to me and it looks pretty. How's that? But we'll get back to the live screen where the Hyperdrive Cup Series is practicing right now. They got about 3 minutes left in practice here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for chase race number 1. And we have, Vern will be a little more prepared the next time, but we got 124 laps of racing action coming your way from the 1.5 mile high-banked Atlanta Motor Speedway. I want to thank everyone for joining the stream so far. We're going to have a good one tonight. Good race. There's going to be 5 chase races. You can check that out on the schedule. You'll see that information on the stream there on YouTube. We'll head to Michigan, Charlotte, Richmond, and Phoenix after this. They do use an elimination-style chase format over here. And I believe they do that every race or two, I think. So you'll see that, heck, I'll pull that bracket up one more time. This time I'll switch screens where I can see it too. Yeah, so Atlanta and Michigan, you'll see the 12 chase drivers. When we get to Charlotte in a few races, then it'll go down to 8. So you'll have the field of 8 there. And then when we go to Phoenix, it's going to go down to the final 4. And that's how the elimination process is going to work. And we'll make sure that that bracket stays updated so we can show you the current chase drivers. As we've been on the 10 car, and what a good-looking paint job on that 10 car here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Those blue wheels on it really set that car off pretty good. That's going to be Gary May driving the 10 car. We got a minute left in qualifying. You see Gans on pit road. But that 3-car right there, Roy Fernandez, is on the racetrack. So we're going to take a couple of laps here with Roy before it gets over with. We might have time for one lap here with Roy before practice gets over. And then we'll get on board with a couple of these guys in qualifying. And maybe we'll get to see a couple of them qualify before we go live and racing tonight. We're going to see something. I promise you that. Just checking out my camera options for tonight. Hi, Diana. Hope you're feeling better this evening. All right, so about 10 seconds left in practice right here at Atlanta. You see Fernandez is going to pull it over. A lot of the guys already on pit road, ready to reset for qualifying. And that's it. That's going to do it for practice here at Atlanta. We're going to go right into qualifying now. So the session's reset. We're going to jump to the 91 car. See him sitting at the end of pit road here. Well, actually 51's going out on the track now, so let's jump on the 51 car. That's going to be Michael Mueller. One of your 12 chase contenders coming into Atlanta tonight. Get here and get the facts back in front of me again. I don't want to spew a number out, but I can now. This driver right here, the 51, has enjoyed 6 wins out of 10 races. So the 51 has had a very dominant season so far here in the Hyperdrive Cup Series, and he's going to be one to watch out for in our 5 chase races here. No doubt about it. Michael Mueller has to be one of the favorites coming into Atlanta here. But I'll tell you, when we catch him on the track, we'll switch over to him. But his teammate right here, the 28 of Andrew Mraz, has had a lot of momentum as of late. And if you look at the leaderboard right now, I mean, the qualifying's not over with yet. But Mraz so far has that 28 car P1. I said it in many of the broadcasts leading up to here, probably the last few. But this driver right here is one that I would really keep an eye on over the next 5 races. Mraz going to shut it down after qualifying. Now Roy Fernandez in the 3 car. Another chase driver is going to bounce up to the top of the board here. So Fernandez going just a little bit. Actually, he went about a 10th faster than Mraz did. So good lap to Roy Fernandez. Mueller in the 51 is going to go up to the 2nd spot. Mraz is going to drop down to 3rd. We're going to try to find another car out here, maybe the 32. Oh, maybe not. Yep, there we go. 32 car, Darren Clement. Clement might be coming out onto the track right here. We got about 2 minutes left to qualifying. Yeah, so this right here is going to be his first time lap. Hey, Michael McCauley, how you doing, buddy? Now Justin Gann, it shows, went to the leaderboard in the 30. So we'll have to see what Gann's lap is. We're going to see where that 32 of Clement winds up at here. He's been qualifying pretty well lately. First lap's going to put him P2 on the board. Or not P2, but P12. We'll have to see where lap number 2 here. I think the 30. Now he's going to go up another spot. So the 32 is going to pick up one more, and Darren Clement will be starting in 11th. But we do still have 40 seconds left, so that could change before we get going green here. But we have Justin Gann in the 30 car. And I believe he turned a 29,972. Which could easily... That's going to make him the only driver to hit that 29-second mark here in Atlanta so far in qualifying. 5 seconds left, 3 seconds. So we're just about ready to go to a quick driver's meeting. And then we're going to grid up and go racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And we're going to go racing for round number 11, chase race number 1. 124 laps with the Hyperdrive Cup Series at Swift Motorsports. Change our camera views around here just a little bit. There we go. See some of the drivers getting on the grid already. We're on the 17 car here at Tommy Haynes. He's a little bit back from the pace car. We can see the safety car right there in front of him. And that got updated a couple of weeks ago after several years on iRacing. So very, very happy to see that change. Looks like so far we've only got a couple drivers out there. The other one's going to be that 33 car, Terry Kahn. Now you see the 91 of Blair Patterson's going to join the grid here. And when we get all of them gridded up, we'll go over that starting grid for you. From top to bottom, and we'll try to zoom through it pretty quick. We've seen our chase bracket. We'll talk about that a little bit during the race here this evening. We got 12 drivers competing for the Hyperdrive Cup Series Championship. And they do have a driver's meeting before they grid up here, so we're going to have to wait a few minutes for that to happen. But it won't be long. We'll be patient. We're ready to see some great racing here. Just like every week with these guys, they put on a great show. If you come to see cautions, you didn't come to the right stream probably, because these guys will do a lot of green flag racing. But Atlanta's a tough track. You know, you get a guy running the high side and the low side, and the racing gets kind of tight around Atlanta Motor Speedway. And we know in tight racings that, hey, it happens. Andrew Mraz there in the 28. He's going to grid up on the racetrack here. There's that pace car. A lot different than the Mustang we had before. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to how they grid up on the track here, other than they're going to be put in the order in which they qualified. I'll wait for our pole sitter to take the grid. Yeah, I'm going to try something different on the grid here tonight. I'm going to try to do it after they grid on the track and during their pace lap. We'll try to do the starting grid, so we'll see how that works out, and if I'm fast enough, we're going to call it a speed round. Hey, that's what racing is, right? You get all the speed you can, and you go around in a circle. So I'm going to try to get all the speed I can on the grid, and we'll do that starting grid and call it a race round. I guess it's just a little strategy I'm going to play with myself here. We're going to pole sitter be taking the grid momentarily here, as you see most of the drivers have, and we'll get it going. All right, there he is, your pole sitter. The 30 car, Justin Gann, starting P1 to his outside in P2. You see it right there. It's that black car with a white number on the roof. That's the 3 car, Roy Fernandez. Starting third is going to be the second row on the inside. That's going to be the 51 car, Michael Mueller. And to his outside in fourth is going to be the number 7 car, Brian Tong. Starting fifth here is going to be the 28, Andrew Moraz. And then his outside in sixth, you'll see the 64 there of Jason Wells. Starting seventh, Willie Nelson in the 25, and we know how fast that 25 car can be. He's back here at Atlanta, so we'll have to keep an eye on Willie. Starting eighth in this race is going to be the 17 of Tommy Haynes. Starting ninth, you're going to see the 91 of Blair Patterson, and his outside in 10th is going to be the 01 of Cody Sleeper. Man, that 7 car smoked him getting going there. Go to the next one. Starting 11th is going to be the 32, Darren Clement. And his outside in 12th will be the 02 right here, David Kamara. Starting 13th, you'll see that number 11 of Gary Wells. And then his outside there in 14th is going to be the 21 of Brandon Freeze. We'll see if I can get to Brandon's car. I don't think I can switch cars fast enough. 15th is going to be the 18 of Casey Duncan, and his outside, and 16th will be the 27 of Jonathan Cogswell. Starting 17th is going to be that number 10 of Gary May, and his outside, and 18th will be the 82 of Mike Franklin. Starting 19th, the 33, Terry Connon, and his outside, and 20th, it'll show Don Kidder. Don is actually an admin and will not be in the race. And I'm going to try to find the 30 car, get back to the front of the field, and we're going to get to some green flag racing here. You see the field coming around right now, coming around Atlanta Motor Speedway. They're going to be coming out of turn 4 this time. Watching the pace car as he dips off on the pit road. And we are green flagging racing at Atlanta Motor Speedway with the Hyperdrive Cup Series at Swift Motorsports. And this is chase race number 1, round 11 right here. You see Gann's going to get out in front of these guys. They're going to go 2 by 2 behind them. Not a fight for too long as that 51. Michael Mueller's going to move into the P2 spot. Now the battle's going to be for third. Just like every stream, I'm going to restart timing and scoring so we can get a fresh screen and the order's right. And we're going to continue on here. Gann's leading it, but he's got a battle on the inside. That's the 51 of Michael Mueller. You see the 28 right there, Andrew Moraz, kind of peeking the nose in the middle, not going to do nothing there. Fernandez right up on that outside wall. Man, you see some of these guys maybe getting a little bit loose off the corner. Not going to say that yet. You just see them moving around, and it might even be the air off some of the cars. So we won't say they're getting loose yet until we can verify it. But they are side by side for the P1 spot as they go by the start-finish line. 30, Justin Gann working the outside. On the bottom of the track's the 51 of Michael Mueller. Right on the bumper of that 30 is that 3-car Roy Fernandez. Fernandez is giving the 30 a push down the straightaway here, and that's really going to give Justin Gann, it's going to keep him up next to the 51 right here. as they come to the start-finish line. And Gann's going to lead the lap. I promise you great racing if you come over here and watch this, and I wasn't kidding you. It doesn't get any better than this if you watch these guys almost 3 wide right there out of turn 2. Mueller got the lead, but Gann shoots right back to the bottom with the 30. And it looks like Gann might clear him this time. So Justin Gann had the lead. Mueller took it momentarily. Here comes a crossover. And Michael Mueller goes back to the bottom of the track in the 51. This is racing right here. 51 of Mueller's going to go back to the lead. Justin Gann back. Justin Gann to second. Nope, Gann's still there. Mueller didn't quite have him cleared. And, man, I see some action going on back there in the back a little bit. That was the 32 right here, Darren Clement, that dropped out of line. And 12 of these guys need to make sure tonight that they take care of their equipment. You got no fast repairs. And part of being in this championship and making it to the next round of 8 is going to be to have a decent car at the end to go for a good finish here at Atlanta. So that's going to be as important as we watch 4 chase drivers. I can confirm 4 of them right here. The 30, 51, 3, and 28 just doing battle for the lead. It's 5 races to get it done. It's only 2 races to get you to the round of 8. And we are only 7 laps in of the 124. If the racing's this good now, I can't wait to see what it is at lap 123. You see a lot of guys, though, starting to get single-filed right now. I'm watching the 64 there, Wells. Jason Wells working the bottom of the track under the 7 of Brian Tong. But the car I'm keeping an eye on is that black car right there. That's the 25 of Willie Nelson. Nelson is fast. Won at Kentucky Speedway. And then we were not live last week. We took a off week for week 13 on iRacing. And now we're back here at Atlanta in the 25 car. Willie Nelson currently running in the 6th position. He's going to go around that 64 Jason Wells. And you see Blair Patterson right there in the 91. That black and gold South Point car sneaking in. Meanwhile, up front, Justin Gann in the 30 has fought off all the battles so far. He's got the 3 of Roy Fernandez behind him, but, man, Fernandez has got a whole bumper full of the 51 there, Michael Mueller. You see Andrew Mraz there in the 28 is going to move up to the 51's rear bumper. And we still have a race for this lead. The 30's got it back. He's got a strong car here, and there's a wreck. Michael Mueller in the 51, problems already, hard contact with the inside wall. And I think we might stay green. Mueller went to the bottom of the track, and he's stuck on the inside wall here, so we'll have to see if it brings out a caution flag or not. But that is not good. He's going to stop his car and tow, and we're going to stay green flag, and Mueller's going to tow to pit road in the 51. Oh, man, first chase race, 10 laps in. You hate to see that for one of the chase drivers, but I'll tell you what, there's next week, and that 51 car with 6 wins on the season. Yes, this does put him in a little bit of a hole, but he could very well come out win next week too. So don't count him out. And who knows, he gets towed, you know. Maybe the car's not significantly damaged and he can get her tuned up and get back in this thing. Couple of laps down, you never know how the cautions might fly as the 3 car Roy Fernandez is in the outside wall now. That wall is not your friend. I promise you. He's going to settle in front of the 64 Jason Wells, but Fernandez is going to fall back into the 5th position right here in the 3 car. Now he might go back one more as Wells in the 64 is going to go after him for a spot. You see Blair Patterson in the 91. He's not going to wait back there too long. That 64 car there working the bottom, that Jason Wells, he's in the chase as well. So's that 91 of Blair Patterson. So all three of these guys want to be in the top 8 here tonight. Meanwhile, Justin Gann still leading them around here. 14 laps in, he's got the 28 of Andrew Mraz behind him. But I'll tell you, I talked about him earlier, and I talked about him twice now, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about him again, and here's why. That 25 of Willie Nelson is going to the front. He did it in Kentucky. He's been fast everywhere. As you see the 3 back behind them just dip to the inside. Scared the crap out of me, to be honest with you. So Willie Nelson right there in the 25 will be coming up on the back end of the 28 car, Andrew Mraz. Gann's going to lead him around. Man, I'll tell you, that 30 car is strong, David. I've said it a couple of times now, and he's had some challenges up there for that top spot, and he's been able to hold them off, man. But you see Mraz there in the 28, another strong car. But that 25 of Willie Nelson, I mean, he's had a little work to do to get up to this top 3. And Justin Gann working a little bit higher line right here. 28 right on the bottom of the racetrack. But look at the momentum that the 30 car gets off the corner working that higher line. I think he might be on to something right here. He's going to pull a little bit of distance right there out of turn 4 on that 28 car. So tire wear, it will be a factor here. Look at the 28, though, get the drive in to the corner. And the 30 get the drive off of it out of turn 2. They're battling back behind them still. We're going to take a look at it real quick. There's the 7 of Tong. There's the 3 of Roy Fernandez. And we've seen Fernandez make a little contact with that outside wall, but I don't think it hurt the guy's car too bad. And that's not the camera I wanted for that, but yeah, we'll try to take a look at the right side of the car when the camera switches around here. But I don't think he contacted that wall that hard, and I think the car's still got all of its speed left in it. So that's good news for the 3 car Roy Fernandez, as he's battling back for some of those spots that he lost during that little, we'll call it an altercation with the outside wall. You see him working the bottom of the 7, and the 7 kind of disappeared for a second, but he's reappeared now, so no harm, no foul. Man, I'll tell you, the 3's getting a draft and getting that rear bumper worked on from the 91 there, Blair Patterson. The 7 is not one of the cars that are in the chase here at Atlanta, but definitely a car they need to contend with. Brian Tong showing a lot of speed in the 7 so far here. And look at Fernandez going for a spot, slide job, and clears them. Textbook. Roy Fernandez up another one. That's going to move Roy up to the 4th spot. You see the 91 of Blair Patterson wants the 5th spot now. He's going to shoot it to the bottom, but I don't think he's going to clear the 7. Only one way to find out. Oh, actually, in fact, he might clear him, and he does. He's going to move up in front of the 7 as well. So Jason Wells will be the next one in the 64 that'll try to follow suit, as he's working the bottom of the 7 right now. See that Alienware machine trying to pick up the 6th position, and he does it. At the start-finish line, they're going to score the 6th spot to the 64. Meanwhile, up front, I can tell you from the leaderboard that nothing's changed in the top 3. Gann's still the leader. Mraz is 2nd. Nelson is 3rd. And the 6th place battle still side by side. Brian Tong in the 7. 64, Jason Wells. Oh, is he going to clear him this time? I think he just might. And yes, he does. So that'll solidify the 6th position and give it to the 64. Meanwhile, up front, there's a battle for 2nd. Andrew Mraz had it, and he is now under fire from the 25 of Willie Nelson. Willie working the inside, man, and that's some tight racing right there. You get a guy that breathes up just a little bit, and boom, we might have an accident. So Nelson got a run on him. There wasn't a lot of room there. You see Nelson working the outside right up by the wall, and just look at the run that 25 car gets off the corner. He's going to push the 28 of Andrew Mraz all the way down that straightaway. Nelson going all the way to the bottom down on this end. And he almost gets a fender there, but not quite. But look how much track he has to use up coming off that corner from the bottom. But, man, this 1 and 2. There goes Mraz. Now look at the 25 of Willie Nelson shoot to the bottom. Mraz is in the wall. Nelson's got to get out of the gas. Man, we avoided disaster that time. Willie Nelson out of the gas to avoid a big wreck right there. Andrew Mraz gets into the outside wall. And we'll get a shot of the right side of the car. It doesn't look like it did a lot of damage to it. So I think the 28 is going to be okay. But I'll tell you a guy that you don't want to see competitors have problems. But when it's chase race number 1, you don't really care if they do. The best-looking mirror was in the 30 car, is what I'm getting at. Rear view mirror. Best-looking rear view mirror that time. Justin Gann is going to open up about a 1.5-second gap on second place now. So Gann started on the pole here, showing some strength at Atlanta in chase race number 1. Andrew Mraz, though, still sitting in P2. He's showing some strength as well. And it looks like that 25 of Willie Nelson has recovered just a tad bit. He's starting to get some of his speed back. We'll see if he can get back up there and work on the 28 a little bit more. But Blair Patterson has gotten around the 3-car Roy Fernandez, and Blair's moved up into the 4th spot right here. And these are chase drivers. I think one thing I might not have mentioned when I showed the bracketry is that everybody's points are zeroed out. So we start all over in Atlanta for those 12 chase drivers on points. And, man, that sure makes things interesting. 91, Blair Patterson, South Point car. Jason Wells now going to move into the 5th spot. And I don't know if Fernandez is pitted or what's going on with that 3. But he's dropped off my radar, which usually means a guy's on pit road just like that. Lap 28, mark it down. Green flag pit stops. First round of pit stops will be green flag pit stops, and they're starting to happen now. Look at Gann in the 30 all the way up to the outside wall. No, it's not hurting his momentum because he has a 2.3-second lead now over Blair Patterson. And Patterson has gotten around this guy right here, the 25 of Willie Nelson. You see Nelson's 25 all the way up at the wall, too, just like we've seen the 30 doing. But Patterson on this long run right here in the 91 is showing some speed. Blair Patterson might have been saving the best for last. Maybe he saved on the season. And he practiced these tracks right here, kept himself in the points and practiced heavy on these chase tracks because they've been on the schedule all season long. So these guys have had plenty of opportunity to test and tune on them. And I can show you that 91 is probably one of those guys. Jason Wells in the 64, another one. Willie Nelson working as a fast driver, we know that. But we see the 64 of Jason Wells has also caught him. I'm not so sure that 25 might not have got a little damage as we're going to watch the 64 come to pit road. I'm going to try to look at it right here. I don't think he made contact with the 28 when the 28 got into the wall, but, man, I'm not 100% sure that he didn't dent that right front. It looks like there actually is a little damage on the right front. Hopefully the camera will switch around where I can see it. With the way that hood's already curved, it's hard to tell. Come on, camera view. I think there is. I think it's slight, but I think there is a little damage on the right front of that car. And that could affect the car, make it a little bit tighter and bind up a little bit. I'll tell you somebody who isn't getting bound up in his car. That's that driver of that 30 car, Justin Gann. Michael Mueller coming back out on the racetrack in the 51. Mueller's car does have damage on it, and he is back out 21 laps down. So he's going to pull down to the apron. You can see the car's got pretty considerable damage down the left side right here. The front of the car is hurt pretty bad. Man, you hated to see that on lap 10 from the 51 car, and I know he's just trying to make some laps for points right here. We go back to the front, and our leader, Justin Gann. We are 33 laps in, caution-free so far. 1.8 seconds is the lead, so Patterson able to breathe off about 0.2 of a second the last couple of laps here. That 91 car driving through a few cars to get up there. I mean, he just didn't get up there. He drove through a few cars to get it. Willie Nelson still out on fuel here. These guys stretching it out a little bit. 25 running right up by the wall. And it looks like the 91 of Blair Patterson's on pit road right now. Actually, so's the leader, 30 car Justin Gann. Switch to him. 30 car Gann on pit road. 91 car Blair Patterson right behind him. First and second on pit road. Green flag pit stops. 51's also back on pit road. Probably going to get a few more repairs done to that car. You see Brian Tong in the 7 slide into his pit stall. Tong's still well within the top 10 when he pitted. Gann's going to do a 4-tire stop in the 30. And he's going to head right back out to the racing surface. But this is going to change things around a little bit. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 cars who have not pitted as of yet. And they're led by this car. That's the 21 of Brandon Freese. So the Dynamark car got about 36 laps on his fuel tank and tires out here at Atlanta. And you see Andrew Mraz there in the 28 going to go around these guys. So's Tommy Haynes in the 17. And they're probably on fresher tires, which means they're going to make it look easy. 0-2 of David Kamara, another one on fresher tires, just going to drive. Look at the 33 of Terry Kahn. These guys are driving by like the 21's tied to a stump, but we'll see when these guys are going to pit. 37 laps in, and here comes the 21, the race leader to pit road. The 32 is going to follow him. And Casey Duncan in the 18 is going to stay out for another lap here. He's the only one still out who hasn't pitted yet, but this is some 10 laps, 9 or 10 laps, after the other guys started coming to pit road. There's Patterson in the 91. We'll have to see who's going to be the leader, and I believe it might be the 3 car when, 18 sideways coming off the track. Great pit road entry. Man, he scared me when he jumped off that racetrack, but he made it work for him. And when it's all said and done, your leader, after the first round of green flag pit stops, probably one of the first cars I seen come to pit road, and that's Roy Fernandez. It shows Fernandez has 11 laps on this stint right now, as we just watched the 18 come to pit road. 39 laps complete of 124, and we have all of our green flag pit stops right here in round 1 completed. Round 1 to pit stops, that is. It's round 11 on the season and chase race number 1 here at Atlanta. I got too many numbers going around in my head. Don't want to confuse anyone else as much as it confuses me to say it, so we're going to go with that and leave it alone. I'll quit making myself laugh doing that either. So Fernandez in the 3 car. He's got about 0.3 of a second over the 0-1 of Cody Sleeper. Not a ton of time, as you can see, that blue car. But I believe they're also teammates, so they might be working similar strategy here. But this driver right here is going to have a few lap fresher tires. That's the 64 of Jason Wells, and we're about to see what 3 lap fresher tires will do for a guy. As he's going to pull up, use the bottom of the track, pull up side by side with the 0-1 of Cody Sleeper. And this is going to be a battle for second position. Oh, yeah. Able to, keep his line down there on the bottom while maintaining more speed. So I would say the 3 laps on the tires are making a difference. Wells moving up to the 2nd spot. Now he's going to work on the lead. And these guys got a little distance on the 4th place car of David Kamara. We'll have to see where Gann fell back. I know that the 30's got fresher tires than all of these guys do. Here's the battle for the lead. Jason Wells, Roy Fernandez, all your top 3 are in the chase for the championship. The 3 car and the 0-1 are on a little bit different strategy than the 64 Jason Wells. By about 3 laps difference. Well, Gann's going to move into the 5th spot, back into the top 5, and Wells is going to move into the lead with the 64, and we're going to go back here. So we see Gann. You see Blair Patterson in the 91 right behind him, and this is how they pitted. I mean, they were about this distance apart, the 30 and the 91. But that was when they were 1st and 2nd. So after the pit stops, they're going to be 5th and 6th, respectively, here. But they've only got about 9 laps on their tires versus, some of them guys in front of them with 16 laps on their tires. So we've seen the difference that 3 laps can do for a guy. Now we're going to see what 7 or 8 laps do. The 30 has already gotten around the 0-2, and that's going to be for the 4th position. The 91 is going to be pulling up on the 0-2 next. Blair Patterson driving a 91. Going to go right to the inside, and we got a car loose, and that might be the 28. Maybe it wasn't. It was a blue car. I'll tell you, it darn sure looked like him. I think it was the 28 that got loose there. I believe Mraz might have had some problems on pit road with that 28 car that cost him a lap. So he must have got a penalty on that round of green flag pit stops, and that is not good. Wells is leading it. I was watching these guys because the 30 and the 91 are on fresher tires, and they're certainly moving forward. And we know one of the guys that was racing up front with them, maybe a little trouble on pit road. I'm not 110% sure what happened with the 28 car, but he's definitely being scored a lap down right now. So that team having a little bit of bad luck here in Atlanta, and not really the way you want to start off the chase. This guy right here, though, has been pretty stellar all race long, back up to the 4th spot. Definitely led the most laps here all the way up to the first round of green flag pit stops. That's Justin Gann in the 30. This guy drove through some cars to get up to the 2nd spot earlier. He's right behind him in 5th, the 91 of Blair Patterson. We're going to watch this. You see 2nd and 3rd right there, the 3 of Roy Fernandez, the 0-1 of Cody Sleeper. There is 7-lap difference between these guys' tires and the tires of the car that's coming up behind him, or behind them. And that's the 30 of Justin Gann, the 91 back there, Blair Patterson. So let's see what the 7 laps will do. At some point, I think the tires would equalize a little bit, and there might not be an extreme advantage. And I'm kind of wondering if we're getting to that point yet. We are 50 laps in, as you see the 0-1 working right up at the top of the wall. And Gann gets a good run through turn 2, down the back straightaway. Cody Sleeper in the 0-1 going to run a little higher line right here. Justin Gann in the 30 going to work the bottom. And there's a position change for third. And maybe second. Gann's going to stay on the bottom and go to work on the 3 of Roy Fernandez now. And you see the 91 of Blair Patterson back there in the distance catching him. So Justin Gann's going to stay on the bottom, try to do a 2-for-1 right here, and I think he's going to get it done. He does. That's going to move the 30 car Justin Gann up to the P2 spot. Only one out of the lead now. And he's got about 1.6 seconds to make up to get there. So while we've been clean and green for 52 laps, I think it's about time to do a through the field for you. And this time, let's do it in car. And let's start with your leader right here, the 64, Jason Wells. Got her up in the first spot. Through a little bit of pit stop strategy. We'll see how well that works out for him as we've seen the 30 move in the second. But so far, it's worked out fabulous for this driver of the 64 car. Jason Wells, one of your chase drivers here in Atlanta tonight, one of the 12. So he is fighting for top 8 spots so he can move on to the next round in the chase. And he's going to show you a lap around Atlanta, and we're going to complete it at the start-finish line. And it looked like he might have got awful close to that outside wall. And then second, you'll find this driver. That's the 30 of Justin Gann. And the distance up to the leader is about 1.6 seconds, so the gap hasn't decreased a ton right here, but it is decreasing. Gann is catching them. Gann does have about 4 lap fresher tires than the 64 car does in front of them, so they've got enough distance on them now that the tires have probably equalized a little bit. And I'm watching the gap up on the top of the screen, and I'll tell you, the four tires after a distance here aren't making up a ton of distance or a ton of time. So we'll go back on board with the 3 car right here in third. That's going to be Roy Fernandez. Looking out his windshield, you'll see the 30, and then way up in the distance, you'll see the leader in the 64. Fernandez has been up here for a little while. Roy Fernandez, another chase driver here. So your top 3 so far, all 3 of them are chase drivers, part of the 12 drivers in the chase. Roy running the top of the racetrack right now. It seems to kind of be the preferred line when these tires start to wear here. And that's awesome when you can run the high side at Atlanta. Maybe we can see that at, tracks like Texas and Charlotte as well. But Fernandez making the high side work for him right now as he's in the top 3. We're going to move back to 4th. Right behind Fernandez is going to be his teammate, the 0-1 of Cody Sleeper. And I believe Cody Sleeper is another one that's one of our chase drivers here. He, in fact, is in the chase. So your top 4 now are all 4 drivers in the chase here. 0-1 right behind his teammate. Having good runs here at Atlanta. 58 laps in. We'll go back to 5th, and that's going to be the 91 of Blair Patterson. And Patterson's caught these 2. We've seen Patterson was actually running a little bit closer to Justin Gann's 30 car, but Patterson's kind of fallen off Gann a little bit, and he's kind of settled in back here into the 5th spot for a little bit now. You can see that Blair Patterson's working a different line with his South Point car, and Patterson is also a chase driver. So all 5 cars in the top 5 here have all been part of the 12-car chase. Oh, we got 2 coming to pit road. Patterson had a beat on him. That's how quick the distance closes. Thank you for that on board there, Blair. That was awesome. We're going to shoot back to who's now 4th place now. It would have been 6th place before, but since the other 2 pitted, he's in 4th. That's going to be the 0-2 of David Kamara. And now we have our 2nd round. That's right, 2nd round of pit stops coming. So Kamara currently showed in 4th. Back here in 5th, right behind David Kamara, is going to be the 17 of Tommy Haynes. And I see Brandon Freeze is going to go around Haynes, and that's for position. So Freeze right there in the 21. Let's jump on board with him. You've seen him go around that 17 of Tommy Haynes, and he's currently working on the 0-2 right here. Whew, that was close. The 21 of Brandon Freeze has to get completely out of the throttle right there. That's going to allow the 17 to run on the bottom. We're seeing some close racing, and we're seeing it from the view of a couple of different drivers' cockpits right here. And I'll tell you what, it's definitely close racing. You see Freeze probably on more of the preferred line right here, running the middle to the high side of the racetrack. So he's going to maintain more momentum down the straightaway, and it looks like the 0-2 is going to stay low on the bottom of the track for him here. Free's going to drive it in almost all the way at the top, but now he's down to that 2nd lane. And I think those guys might have pitted as the 21's going to go by him. So Darren Clement in the 32 will go on board with Darren. We haven't been on board with him yet. Darren currently showed in the 3rd position. White green flag pit stops are happening. Your new leader is Justin Gann, as I believe the 64 is headed it to pit road. So Clement right here being scored 3rd. Then this driver, Willie Nelson, in the 25 car, being currently scored in the 4th spot. We've seen Willie up front battling for a while, and then it looked like he might have had a little right front issues, and I'm telling you, I'm taking a peek out the right side of that windshield, and it looks like that front end's sticking up over there. And I don't know, he might have got a little contact with the 28 car when the 28 got up in the wall earlier in the race. That could have happened. So Willie right now, though, in the 4th spot with the green flag pit stops happening. We're going to bounce back another one, and that'll be the 27 of Jonathan Cogswell. Cogswell's about 26 laps in on this fuel run right here. And he's also in the chase, so he's another chase driver right here. Have to keep an eye on him as we go to the 18 and on board with the 18 of Casey Duncan. Duncan put on a little bit of show on his last pit stop. We'll see if we can get a camera on him when he pits again. Duncan was also probably the last car to come in. And Duncan's wrecking. And we got caution flag number 1. So we're going to jump off KC's on board. And we got to see that from a cockpit view doing the through the field. And man, you hate to see that for any driver. And we're going to take it back to an instant replay and find out what happened to the 18 car. We were on board with them. And we've seen the wreck from the cockpit view, but we don't know what caused the wreck. So, see the 18 working around the track right here, and oh, man, we were on board for that ride. We hate it for Casey Duncan having a good run there, and I'll tell you what, this caution's going to shake a few things up. And I can tell you what else it's going to do, too. It's going to put some pretty fast cars a lap down. So chase race number 1 just got more excitement added by a caution right in the middle of the 2nd round of green flag pit stops. I'm sure there were quite a few drivers that did not want to see that caution flag, but guys that it worked out for. 25 car, Willie Nelson right here. I don't think it affected the 30 of Justin Gann either. As Gann's still on the track and he's only got a lap on his tires, and he is your leader now. So Gann able to work around those cars after he made that pit stop with those fresher tires and get his lap back. And that is going to be huge. And another driver, it looks like, is going to get a break for it. The 21 right there, Brandon Fries. Fries is going to beat the rest of those guys off pit road, which include the 25 of Willie Nelson, the 27 of Jonathan Cogswell, and the 64 Jason Wells. You see Wells coming to pit road now, the 7 coming with him. So we're halfway through the race, and we are on caution flag number 1. And we'll take a quick commercial break. All right, we're back with the field right here with the Swift Motorsports Hyperdrive Cup Series. Justin Gann's the leader, pacing under caution right here. 21, Brandon Fries on the outside of that front row. Second row is going to be the 25 of Willie Nelson, the 27 of Jonathan Cogswell outside of him. And we're back to green flag racing right here on lap 69. Make it lap 70 now. And just like they started the race, the 30 car is not going to waste any time getting back to the front. And I'll tell you what, the 25 of Willie Nelson didn't waste any time getting a P2 right there. Nelson probably had the preferred line to get that spot on the bottom and third, right behind the leader. And he's going to take advantage of it. And is he going to have enough to come up here and battle with the 30 car, Justin Gann? We've seen people battle earlier in the race with that 30 car right after the initial start, but Gann definitely proved to be the strong car in that run. And the 25's got some enough battling to do on the outside right there as the 21 of Brandon Fries moves in. They're shuffling around. We got a car all the way down on the apron. That might have been the 0-2 back there. It was David Kamar in the 0-2 going down to the apron there to avoid a little bit of trouble. And we're going back to the race up here. Gotcha, Keith. I'm sure these guys miss you. We miss you in the broadcast tonight, buddy. But we all understand the prior engagements, man. Side by side for P2. 25. Willie Nelson. 21. Brandon Freeze. Once again, I'm telling you, that 30 car is kind of liking what he sees in the rearview mirror. He can take a peek there and see the 25 and 21 battling it out. Whew, that was close racing. 64, Jason Wells getting back, and there's contact, and the 7's hard in the outside wall. And, man, we got 4, 5, 6 cars involved. What's the old saying? Cautions breed cautions? I think we've all heard that before. I think we've heard it before, and it's going to stand true right here on lap 74. And we are going to do a replay. And we're going to keep an eye on the 7 car right there on your outside. And you can see the racing got, it looked like the 64 might have had to check up a little bit right there. And that caused a little bit of a bottleneck back there as these guys start going around. 91, 10, 28. Look at the 3 just locking them down. Roy Fernandez not wanting to get any damage. But I'll tell you, that 91 car right there having such a good race. Chase race number 1 for these guys in the Hyperdrive Cup Series. And another one of your chase drivers here in Atlanta in chase race number 1, and he's missing the front end of his car now. So, man, we hope that the crew can get, something up there, break the duct tape out. Blair was having a great race here, and you really hate to see it for those drivers. Brian Tong, also a fast one. I mean, he qualified up there and was running up there most of the race, so it looked like hard racing up there, and sometimes that hard racing can lead to a caution, and we know that cautions can breed them too, so I think that might be what we've seen. But you hate it for any driver that was involved in it, and you definitely hate it for the chase drivers. Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm glad both of you are tuned into the stream here tonight, and you guys. And I say this because you're a driver that's in here every week, Keith. You guys put on a heck of a show. It's phenomenal. And we got to share this broadcast, get it out to as many people as possible, because this Cup Series racing right here, it's awesome Thursday night material. Just awesome Thursday night material. Cogswell in the 27 going to take advantage of the caution flag, come down the pit road. Gann still out on the track, 25 of Willie Nelson. I believe that's the 10 car, might be on the tail end of the lead lap after that wreck there. Gary May in the 10, love the paint on that car, digging on the wheels quite a bit. You see Fernandez, though, pacing in that actually, he might be on the tail end, too. We seen him lock it down, so he didn't get any damage, it didn't look like, from that last incident. The 28, though, who's in front of him, a Mraz, I think he's on the tail end of the lead lap, too. So Andrew Mraz might get a lap back here, but that car's definitely got a little damage on it. Hopefully it won't affect the 28 too bad, and he can salvage a decent finish out of Atlanta here. One of the drivers that I'd said keep an eye on. Mraz had been picking up a lot of speed throughout midway point to the end of the season, and really on several different racetracks there, that 28 was a big threat to win. And he got him a win on top of it. And he had a lot of momentum coming in here, and the 51 6 wins this season, he has problems here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 28 problems at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 91, we've seen missing the front end back there after that incident. And these are chase drivers that we're going through, so definitely not a good night for some of these guys. Man, Cody Sleeper in the 0-1 still sitting on pit road, another chase driver. Mike Franklin right there in the 82. Another one of your chase drivers here, just you hate to see it. There's Patterson's car still sitting on pit road to 91. Brian Tong sitting on pit road. 10 car Gary May was caught up in the incident, but his car don't look like it was real. You can see the hood crinkled on that left side, but it don't look like it's real serious, so. We're going to go back to green flag racing right here once again. Justin Ganger leader in the 30. Willie Nelson in the 25. The 21 of Brandon Freeze side by side for second. Freeze is going to take it. I'm telling you, I think that little bit of damage that that 25 car has on the right front is affecting his speed here a little bit. But you see Brandon Freeze is going to go up there and get on the bumper of the leader on this restart. And look at Darren Clement in the 32 running fourth, side by side with the 25 for a spot. He's going to have the 64 of Jason Wells move in, but what way's Wells going to go? Is he going to go to the top with the 25 of Willie? Look at the run the 32 gets on the bottom. 3 wide for P2. There's the wreck. 32's wrecking, 21's wrecking hard into the inside wall, both of them. And just like that, we're under caution, and cautions breed them. I'm not going to say that anymore, but it's proved true twice now. So let's hit the instant replay and check out and see what happened, and how's this going to change the chase around now. So we've seen the cars that were doing battle right here, 32, 21, 25, 64. We know a couple of these guys are in the chase. Man, the racing got tight, and that's all it took. But that 32 of Darren Clement almost knocked down the inside wall. That's how hard he hit. The 21 of Brandon Freeze, quite a bit of damage on the front of his car. And just got to cruise right over here to the chase board. Okay, that one there might not have got a chase driver. So that would be good. But Freeze having a great run, running up there in second. Great drive tonight throughout the race. And that 21, 32 of Darren Clement coming forward there at the end. And now they're on pit road. Pretty considerable damage on those cars. I believe we stayed green. I thought it was a caution. We stayed green flag and racing. Man, I don't know how we made it through that one green, but we did it. Gann still leading at 25 of Willie Nelson. 64 right there on the bottom is Jason Wells going for that P2 spot. And these three have got a little bit of a gap back there on the fourth position. Yeah, I could have swore as big as that wreck was that it would have caused a caution, Keith. I'm shocked. I know iRacing controls the cautions. That has nothing to do with the admins. So something was wrong with that one. They're side by side for P2. It was a pretty good size wreck. But they're gonna keep it green, so we're only gonna have 2 cautions. I'm going through and reviewing the replays and everything, just like a normal one. I was gonna get back up there and catch a pace car, and I realized they were still racing. I actually heard the motors real loud coming by, and I'm like, man, it sounds like they're wide open. So that's not the first time I've made that mistake. I'll have to admit that. But as a disclaimer in black and white, top left of your screen, you'll see what it says underneath a Vern. Nation don't usually do these Thursday night deals with me. He's done one of them, I believe, so. He's not in the booth. It's just me like you got on most Thursday nights. And that battle for second is heating up. Justin Gann, still no problems in the 30. Got it out front. Willie Nelson in the 25, though. I believe that feller's in a fight for his life right there for that second spot. Jason Wells in the 64, been putting a lot of pressure on him. And these three got a little bit of distance right here over the 27 car, Jonathan Cogswell. Now, what you need to know about the 27 and the 17 behind him, yes, they are chase drivers. And they're sitting 4th and 5th on the scoring screen right now. So they've been able to dodge a couple of pretty big incidents right here that were pretty close together. And I think that last wreck, though, is going to sort the field out a little bit, so it's going to calm down some of the racing. Here's a driver we were on board with that had, a little bit of problems that led to caution number 1. That's the 18 right there of Casey Duncan, and you can see the damage on that car. But Duncan, throughout the other incidents after his, he's able to get that 18 car back up to the 6th position, so I think Casey Duncan might salvage a decent finish here in Atlanta. Fernandez right there in the 3 car. Mike Franklin in the 82's back on the track. The 91 there, Blair Patterson, also back on the racetrack. You see the heavy damage on the front of that 91 car as the 3 went around them. I think the 3's got a little bit of damage too. He's certainly a little bit slower, but he is in the 7th position and on the lead lap. Back in 8th on the lead lap is going to be this driver. That's the 10 car of Gary May. Those wheels on that car look awesome. Not going to lie. And the wheels on the 10 are going round and round. Gary May having a good race, though, in the top 10 right here in Atlanta. 8th position. This driver right here, it could have all went bad for the 28 car of Andrew Mraz in Atlanta. But he hung in there. He got the car worked on. You can see the damage on it. He took it, took time, worked the caution flags, got the car worked on. And I know he's got the leader coming up behind him, and he's probably going to lose a lap right here. But he's sitting in the 9th position. He got the car back on the lead lap. Took a wave around after the last one. The car's just down on power and speed. But these are the kind of things right here, the kind of turnarounds that can lead to a difference of getting to the round of 8 or being eliminated after the round of 12. So my hat's off to you, Andrew Mraz. You got it back up in the top 10, and you're doing what you need to do. And then you get back here, and these guys drop from not 1 lap down, but they're several laps down as Mraz goes back a lap down here. David Kamara is off the track. Mike Franklin back on the track in the 11th position with the 0-2 off the track. I believe Franklin's going to pick up and be back in the top 10. Darren Clement on pit road getting repairs in the 32. Brandon Freese in the 21 getting repairs. Blair Patterson, though, back out on the racetrack. And Blair's going to stand to pick up a couple of spots right here with the 91 car. You see how severely damaged the car is, but Blair is one of the chase drivers and needs to pick up as many points as he can here at Atlanta. Freese, the 21, coming back off pit road and onto the racetrack. Not without damage on the 21 cars. We've seen him involved in one of those incidents there. He's going to rejoin the racing surface. You see the leader, Justin Gann, there, back in the background. Gann will be coming up to put the 21 a lap down, but we'll have to see. I know coming off pit road, the 21's going to have fresh tires right here. but I don't know how much the car's going to be down on power. So that's what it would be come down to. As we're going to go back to the front of the field and back to the 30 car Justin Gann, who's got about a half a second lead now over the 64 of Jason Wells. And you got chase drivers in first, second, fourth, fifth, seventh, and ninth right now. And maybe even 10th. We'll go back to 10th. Nope. Franklin's got to make up a couple more laps to get that spot away, and then we'll have another chase driver in the top 10. Because the 0-2 is currently off the racetrack, we've seen a lot of damaged race cars throughout the second caution and what I thought was the third caution that wasn't a caution. So we've seen some damaged race cars from that, but these guys get it straightened out. And 29 laps to go. We still got a race going on in Atlanta. Jason Wells, great drive for this driver so far here at Atlanta. Watching the 64 work his way through traffic. Working his way up into the lead at one point. And he led several laps tonight. So I'll tell you, if anyone's going to give that 30 a challenge, it might be the 64 right here. But we've seen a lone green flag run about 67 laps to start this thing, and I know we can go 28 more to finish it. Go back to third, Willie Nelson. I just think he's got a little damage on the right front, making the car a little bit tight for him. And I think that has been affecting the 25 car for the majority of the race right here. Earlier on, though, and still now, I mean, running in the top three, that feller's still on the podium in the 25. That's a good night for anybody. So Willie winning in Kentucky. We took a week off, come back to Atlanta. Round 11 chase race number 1 here with the Hyperdrive Cup Series at Swift Motorsports. This first round of the chase, so chase race number 1. There's actually going to be 2 rounds before we go to the round of 8 drivers. So 2 races we go to the round of 8, and then 2 more races we'll go to the round of 4. And that's how the elimination system is going to work. So you want to be able to capitalize, come out of Atlanta with a good finish, and I'll tell you, there's no better finish than this driver right here in the 30 car has been working on this whole race. Justin Gann qualified on the pole position, definitely prepared for this one, and it's been working out great for that driver. He's 0.4 of a second right now ahead of the 64 car. Gann's had a strong car here. I'll tell you what, though, I've been watching, and I think that 64 took a little bit off his lead right there. These guys have about 26 laps on their tires. As Gann comes by, 23 laps to go. I'm showing Tommy Haynes in second, though. That's because the 64's on pit road. So the 64 is going to stop a little bit early on Justin Gann. I don't know if Gann will come in the next time or not. We're going to have to stay with him and see what he decides to do right here. Because this could change everything if it goes green. Yep, that's going to force Gann's hand. He's going to have to bring it down pit road. And, man, you don't want to make a mistake right here. Final pit stop of the race. Gann's going to come in from the lead. But there was only about 0.3 separating them. So, pitting a lap early might give the 64 an advantage, but we'll have to wait and see how the 30 does right here. Good stop in his pit stall right there. A little bit scared when he slid those tires he might go across that line, but he doesn't. See the left side's up on the car. It's going to be a 4-tire stop here. And there he goes. The 30 is back out off of pit road. Getting ready to go back on the racetrack at Atlanta. Trying to get it up to speed, and we're going to have to see where the 64 is in relation to him. Watching the 64, you can see the 30 down there on the apron. And the 30 is going to come back on the racetrack right in front of the 64 in about the same spot they were when the pit stop started. Now the 64 is going to close right up on the back bumper of the 30. They're going to work the bottom of the 27 of Jonathan Cogswell. Man, they're closer together now than they were before the pit stops happened. But Gann's got one lap better tires than the 64, so we'll see what a lap does right here on the tires. They're second and third. Willie Nelson in the 25s being scored the leader right now. Well, Gann's going to open up the gap a little bit as they go around that 10 car of Gary May. And Willie Nelson's the leader right now by about 3.1 seconds. Willie short pitted them a little bit by about a few laps, and man, I'll tell you what, that might be a move that'll take a guy from third to a win possibly, but we're going to find out as we got 20 to go right now. 64 closing back close to the bumper of the 30. And I'm watching these guys because I'm thinking that this could be the battle for the win, but now I'm not so sure. This driver pitted 3 laps before Justin Gann. And that put him out by about 3 seconds. You can see it's going to be 2.6 seconds with 19 to go. But only 3 laps different on the tires. So as the tires, come up to full temperature and start cycling a little bit, I don't know, that 30 with that 64 right on his bumper might be enough to chase this 2.4 second gap down. We're going to find out with 18 laps to go. Definitely a good maneuver from the 25 to come in a few laps early. 17 to go. Now, if a caution come out, it would change everything. So I can tell you second and third place is picked off about another second. Over a second now. 1.8 seconds is the gap. The 30 able to maintain just a little bit of a gap, maybe 2 or 3 car lengths over the 64 there, Jason Wells. Justin Gann having a great drive. Fastest man in qualifying. And I don't think they're going to have any problem catching the 25, watching the gap go away. 1.2 seconds is the 25's advantage over these two. I'm watching the 64 already working a little higher line. Losing a little bit of distance here to the 30. So that 64's got a lap older tires, and he might be fading a bit. Nope, Michael McCauley, no nation tonight, man. We didn't, in fact, there was no nation last night either. I don't know if you rewatched the broadcast or not or noticed that, but I think he's on vacation. So here's a battle for the lead. 30 of Justin Gann has caught the 25 of Willie Nelson and is now working to the inside of that driver. Gann's going to reassume the position with 14 laps to go, and that's going to put the 30 of Justin Gann back to the lead. And now the battle's going to be for P2. Wells looks like he's fallen off of the 30 a little bit. He was able to run with them for a while, but I think that 30 car might be in a league of his own right here. He's going to come to the start-finish line, 13 laps to go. Jason Wells right here, going to be in a side-by-side battle with the 25 of Willie Nelson. Nelson all the way at the top of the track. And I think Nelson's going to pull up beside him down the back straightaway. So you can see the momentum you get from that top side of that racetrack up by the wall. And I know that 64 is trying to get him cleared, maybe save his tires a little bit and make one more run at him in the last 12 laps, but we'll have to wait and see. That gap's opened up to about 1.1 seconds now. So 1.1 second advantage for the 30 and 1 lap fresher tires than the 64 has. We'll see how that plays out over the next 12 laps. But if I was a betting man, I'd know who to bet on. But the 17 of Tommy Haynes up into the 4th position now. Another chase driver coming on at the end, turning it into a good finish. Jonathan Cogswell back there in 5th. He's another one of your chase drivers. Want to take a look at where Andrew Mraz is at. Mraz right here in the 9th position. Oh, he's actually right next to the 2nd place driver. Going around the 91 now, Blair Patterson. Mraz has damage in the 28, but still in the top 10. Should be a pretty solid points night for that driver. But the most solid points night for this driver right here. That's the 30 of Justin Gann. 10 laps to go at Atlanta. Slowed by 2 caution flags tonight. And the Hyperdrive Cup Series has 9 laps to go in chase race number 1. Justin Gann, your leader by almost 2 seconds over the 64, Jason Wells. Wells battling with lap traffic right now. Gann had already gotten around this lap traffic, but Wells had to still get around him and battle with him. The 21 of Brandon Freese was the car he was going around last there. Freese had a fast hot rod tonight. Just had got caught up in one of those cautions, and that kind of ended the run for him. And Willie Nelson, we watched him work a little bit of strategy. He's going to fade back to the 3rd position here. Once they get longer into running, that 25 resorts to the wall. He's able to hold pace a little bit better. When they got to move up the track, that 25 of Willie Nelson works that high line so well. And Nelson still got a little bit of room over that 17 right here. Tommy Haynes probably, he's a few seconds actually behind the 25 car for 3rd. So Haynes would have about 7 laps here to make up 3 seconds. You see Cogswell in 5th. He's another, 3.3 seconds behind Tommy Haynes. Casey Duncan's about 13 seconds behind the leader, 1.3 behind Jonathan Cogswell. And Fernandez up in the 7th spot in the 3 car. Battling for the lead most of the race, and he wound up with a little damage, but he's got it back up here in the top 7. Gary May, caught in one of the earlier incidents. He has the 10 car up here in the A spot. Currently a lap down, and then, of course, Andrew Mraz, but Mike Franklin has moved into the top 10 in the 82. He was caught up in an earlier incident. Franklin in the chase, able to recover nicely right here. Brandon Freese is up to 11th in the 21. And Blair Patterson, as rough as the car looks, he's got it up in the 12th place right now, 1 lap down. So Patterson doing what he needs to do right here in the chase to salvage round 1 the best he can. And then in 13th, you got the 7 right there, Brian Tong. Fast car for Brian all night, running up front. Got caught in an earlier incident. So we got 4 to go, and we're going back on board with the leader by 2.1 seconds. That's going to be Justin Gann. So we are getting close to the end of this thing right here, and we're going to stay. Actually, we might do an onboard for a lap here. He's got about 19 laps on the run here, so we'll see what kind of lines he chooses. See about the middle of the racetrack right now, middle to the bottom. I don't know what line he's running, but it's been working for him. It worked for him in qualifying. It's been working for him all race long here in the race. So whatever line he chose was the better one. He's going to have 2 to go when we come to the start-finish line this time. And that's on board with the leader for a lap. .4 seconds is the distance over Jason Wells' 64. Next time he goes past the start-finish line is going to be the final lap, and the white flag's in the air. 1 lap to go at Atlanta for the Hyperdrive Cup Series at Swift Motorsports. 1 lap to go in chase race number 1 for the Hyperdrive Cup Series. And about a half a lap for the driver of that 30 car, Justin Gann, to win that first chase race. Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time for the 30 car, Justin Gann. Gann's going to bring it out of turn 4, across the start-finish line, and Justin Gann will win in Atlanta. Chase race number 1 for the Swift Motorsports Hyperdrive Cup Series. Man, what an awesome race. 2 caution flags slowed the field down tonight. And Justin Gann's going to win round 11, chase race number 1 right here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This driver, Willie Nelson's going to bring it home in second. Or Jason Wells in second. Willie Nelson's 25 is going to bring it home in third. And then Tommy Haynes going to come home fourth in the 17 and fifth. That guy right there, Jonathan Cogswell. He's out of his car, and Justin Gann is your winner. And Gann is burning them down. So we will we'll get him in here momentarily, do our post-race interviews, and man, Gann needs to burn it down. Chase race number 1 and puts the 30 car in victory lane. That's how you start off a chase. While he's doing that, we'll take a quick look at the bracket again. You see, Mueller had a little bit of problems tonight, as did Mraz, but Mraz was able to recover pretty good. So was the 3 of Fernandez. He recovered good. Haynes had a good night in fourth. Sleeper may have he might have got out there and recovered a bit. I'm not real sure. But we're waiting for Gann here so we can get him up in the booth. I'll probably go hunt him down. To get my Discord pulled up. I see second and third sitting in I think I ran past them. There we go. Justin Gann, this is Vern Bradley up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Hey, Vern. What's up, man?
Man, I'll tell you what, that 30 car was strong tonight at Atlanta, buddy.
I was a little nervous coming in because I didn't get to practice too much, and ended up getting a pole, so I was surprised by that. And then, it just felt good. I felt like I could put the car anywhere and keep it out front.
Well, I'll tell you what, it looked like you could too when you set that 29-second lap time down there in qualifying. I'm like, man, that 30 car's on it tonight. So you found the line for sure, buddy.
I had a blast tonight.
Oh, I'm sure you did. It looked like a lot of fun out there, especially when you got the view that you had most of the night at the front of the field there.
With the new package that they put out there, when you get behind a car, you can really feel it pushing back on you. a lot more than you used to, and it's totally different. And being able to put the car anywhere on the track, it just makes it that much better. Um, but yeah, I had a blast out there, man, and a little nervous with all the different pit strategies going on. Wasn't quite sure if mine was the right one or what. But Jason, uh, he had me on that. I think it was after the first pit stops going to the second. I couldn't catch him, and I'm like, oh man, I had a great lead too. Uh, so his pit strategy was really good, and I just put it all out there the second half.
Yeah, it looked like after so many laps, if a guy had 4 lap older tires, your tires just kind of equalized, and there wasn't really an advantage anymore.
That's what I seen that he had about four lap older tires than me, and I was like, man, why am I not catching him? And and like I said, that last stop, man, I didn't worry about saving tires. I just put it down and took off and prayed the gap would save me.
Yeah, and David Bossman247 in the stream told me to pass on his congratulations to you. He's been in this broadcast rooting for you the whole race, Justin.
So man, I appreciate it. I love all the support for the league and for the drivers. We definitely appreciate our fans.
Yeah, they've been in here and chatting a little bit tonight, which was happy. I'm really happy to see that and seeing more momentum right there from the fans. And Keith Vaughn said he had prior engagements. He'll be back next week. But Chase race number 1, tell me how it feels to just come into Chase race number 1 as a Chase driver and win the thing.
Man, it's a relief. You know what I mean? Just to get that first race, get a good finish going into the Chase. You know, every 2 races, one of them is really, both are critical, but you know, that first one going into the new series of the Chase, you know, you want to do good. So,
right, and points lock you in, right? Not the wins or
yeah,
how
it's
does
not wins, it's just points.
It's just points, even in the Chase format with the elimination. So, man, you don't get no more points than you do for first, Justin.
That's right.
So it makes next week a little easier, and we're headed to, you probably know it off the top of your head, and I got to scroll my mouse over here to see it. But we're going to Michigan next week. So how's the driver of the 30 feel at Michigan?
Tell you what, that's one of my favorite tracks, so they better watch out.
That's bad news for the rest of them, isn't it?
Oh yeah. But you know what? With the new tire model and everything that's come out with these cars after this new update, it's you know, it's really hard to tell how your car is going to handle, because sometimes you can't race these tracks like you used to.
Right. That's exactly right. And man, it changed everything too, and that just happened a week ago. So
yeah.
It's not like guys had a ton of time to practice the new package either, but it definitely worked out for you at Atlanta. But I'm telling you, David Bossman told me that you were really good at this track. So
awesome. Well, I appreciate it.
He was right. Justin, you have anyone you want to thank while we got you up here, buddy?
Oh yeah, I got to thank my team 4X. They did a great job tonight. You know, looks like KC, he finished top 6 there. So
he had a nice recovery.
Yeah, he did. Brandon was running strong too. He got caught up in some mess, there on one of the restarts, and it's unfortunate, but he was running strong. So the whole team was really running great, communicating, and I just have a blast running with them. I got to thank the sponsor on the car, RB Riggs. Thank the admins, and thank you up in the booth.
Hey, no problem at all, Justin. And I'll tell you, just to tell you something real quick, when you rewatch the broadcast, I was actually doing a through the field with the in-car view and was literally doing the in-car through the field with the 18 when the incident happened.
Oh yeah, he said he didn't know how he made it through that one.
Man, I was on the in-car doing it through the field when it happened, and I'm like, oh, that's not a good in-car view to be on. And I think that might have been our first caution of the race. So, Justin, it was awesome, man. I mean, P1 in qualifying, and winning the race. I don't think that a driver could dominate at Atlanta any more than that, buddy.
Well, I appreciate it.
So congratulations to you on winning Chase race number 1, and just, the rest of them are on notice. Michigan's a good track for you.
Oh, yeah.
So, Justin, good luck to you at Michigan next week, and as far as that goes, throughout the whole chase going for the championship, buddy.
Thank you, Vern.
You're welcome. So that was your race winner, Justin Gann. We're going to go to our second place finisher, Jason Wells. Jason, actually another Chase driver. Jason Wells, this is Vern Bradley up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Man, that 64 car was strong, but you came up a little bit short there after that last round of pit stops. So tell us what happened there with the car and what went down.
Yeah. To be honest, to finish second, I think I got a little bit lucky. A lot of good cars had some issues here tonight. But, man, I was out front when it was green, going green. If it would stay green, I probably think I would have had a better shot at the win. But I don't know, just got too tight. Couldn't chase him down, and it was a good win for Justin.
Yeah, what I was wondering, in the broadcast is you guys pitted at that last stop. I mean, you come in and he literally come down pit road a lap later. So there was a lap difference between your tires. Do you think early in that run, the 1 lap difference in the tires made that big of a difference between the two cars?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I wasn't on my out lap. I wasn't able to run 3 and 4 wide open because of traffic, and that's when I followed in behind Justin. So I think the tires were still probably about equal, and I was catching him on the long run before we pitted. So I thought, man, if I just take it easy and push him to catch Willie, maybe I could have a run shot at him for like 5 to go. But
right.
Once he got past Willie, he just took off.
Yeah, and I even thought about it, and I thought you might have been saving the tires, dropping off a little bit to kind of save yours and make a late run there, but it looked like the thing just locked down on you, man.
I thought I was saving tires, but apparently not enough.
Sometimes it works out that way, but I'll tell you what, as a Chase driver coming in to Chase race number 1, it's got to feel real good to come out of here with a P2 for the points, buddy.
Oh, yeah, it feels good. Eases the pressure off a little bit for the next round and see where we end up at the end of the season.
So I ask drivers this every interview. How well do you like Michigan?
I like practice Michigan. I like to qualify Michigan. But once we get in the race, I hate this package. I finished second tonight, but I take the downforce off these things. Give me the horsepower. Let us slide around the track.
Yeah, I'm kind of that driver too. I like to be able to do that. So I haven't tried the new package. I don't get a chance to doing the broadcast. I don't get as much time to drive them anymore. But I got to check it out because I heard I've heard 2 opposite views on this package. So 2 interviews tonight, and you were the opposite view of the first one. And man, I'll tell you, it regardless of the package, that 64 was fast. You had to work through cars to get up there. And tell us how that went for you early in the race, because we've seen a lot of side-by-side racing.
Yeah, that's my problem this season, I feel, is I've been taking it too easy at the start and letting the leaders get too far ahead. So, but I know I just try to, take what I can get, try not to make any mistakes, get in anybody. And, once I let a few cars by and let their tires wear off, I was able to get by a few of them pretty easily and try to run the leaders back down.
Yeah, and you had that pit strategy on the green flag pit stop rounds that it got you out in front of, I believe it was eventually Gann by about 1.45 seconds, and you just maintained that gap, man.
Yeah, and I really feel like, I don't want to be arrogant, but if it stayed green, I think I had a really good chance of, having a few seconds on people. But what it could have, should have, have to wait until next week.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's how it works sometimes, and you had a fast hot rod and a great run in second. Do you have anyone you want to thank while we got you up here, Jason?
Justin for running the league and all the admins who keep track of the race and keep us all in line, and you for the broadcast. I enjoy watching it after the race.
Well, you're welcome, man. All you guys are always welcome, and congratulations on that P2 finish tonight. Second place in chase race number 1. So that's going to put you in a real good position headed to Michigan and chase race number 2 to move on to the round of 8.
All right. Thank you, sir. I look forward to next week.
We'll see you next week, Jason, and good luck to you, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that was P2 finisher Jason Wells, driver of the 64 car. We're going to go with our third place finisher, which will be Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson, this is Vern Bradley in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
All right, I think the last time I had you in here, you won the race. And tonight, man, I'll tell you that 25 looks strong, but did you get a little damage on that right front when the 28 hit the wall earlier in the race?
Yeah, I got a little damage on that right front earlier in the race and later in the race when I pounded the fence down. But, hey, it didn't compromise much. Still got a top 3 out of it.
You did.
So.
Well, and I noticed that, but I noticed when you were racing the 28 hard, it looked like the car was never quite 100% after that.
No, there was an option to get some damage fixed, but I opted not to. Probably should have.
You opted for the faster pit stop.
Yeah. I was trying to get back out there and see if I could get a win, and well, third place is good enough for me. I'll take that any day.
Well, you gambled a little bit at the end, and I thought it was going to work out for you when the pit stops got over that last time. You had about a 3-second lead, and I'm thinking, man, I think Willie might pull this one off. But they caught you, man.
They did. That thought was going through my mind. I had a 3.5-second lead, and I thought I could really drive away with this. And then they started closing in quicker, and I saw it drop down to 1.7, and then half a second, and then they passed me. And then I had this cat jump in my lap, and I went, well, this ain't good.
I think that's like the second time you've had a cat jump in your lap, isn't it?
That happens all the time. There ain't no lock on my door. They just kind of push it open and come in here.
The cats push it open and jump in your lap, man.
That's okay. That happened after I got past, so it didn't change much.
Yeah, it could be worse. That cat jump on your head or something, get on the back of that chair and jump on your head.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
But you won in Kentucky. We took a break, and you come out here, and I literally for about 5 or 6 laps after that last pit stop, I thought you were going to win it here, man.
Well, I gave it my best shot, and Justin, again, he was pretty fast all day and proved that, but followed that up with the win. So he's a really good driver and got the dub here tonight.
Well,
the
best part about it is working that strategy didn't even cost you a position, man. You were third when you took the strategy at the end, and you wound up third.
Yeah, I'll take that. It was nice.
So still on the podium, still get you in here for interview in the broadcast booth afterwards, and I'll tell you what, that 25 is pretty exciting to watch. You're going to make it at Michigan next week, Willie?
You'll know when we get there. I don't know.
Well, I'll just see if the 25 is on the track, right?
Yes, sir. Well, hopefully I am.
That's what I'll look for. Willie, you got anyone you want to thank while we got you in the booth, buddy?
Yeah, I want to thank my sponsors.
They're not a sponsor on the car.
Exactly.
Somebody has to get this guy a sponsor. I'm telling you.
Somebody get me a sponsor. I plan on, I don't know, I think I plan on running next season. I got a buddy that I'm trying to get in, join in this league too, and see if we can't get the same sponsor on our car and run this out and go for a championship next season.
Yeah, I think you'd have a good shot at it, buddy, and I'm telling you, I look forward to seeing you on the racetrack. Willie, when you make it to the races, I look forward to it, man. I know you're going to put on a great show.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope I put on a great show. I feel like I did a pretty good job here tonight.
You
tried
did a
that
great
top
job.
line. Woof.
You're-
Came so close to pounding that thing down. I did pound it down one time, but that was fun running up there.
Man, it's always fun having you in the broadcast booth after these things are over with, too.
Awesome, sweet. Thank you.
Willie, thank you, buddy. Congrats on the top 3 here at Atlanta, and hopefully we'll see you in Michigan next week.
Thank you.
You are welcome, sir. Willie Nelson, driver of the 25, and always a good one to interview. Have a lot of fun with him. And I'll tell you, that's a fast driver. Great finish tonight in the top 3. Won it at Kentucky a couple of weeks back. And we have put chase race number 1 at Atlanta in the books here. So chase race number 1 in the books, and we're going to take a look at those results here. Your winner once again, chase driver, the 30 of Justin Gann. In fact, I'm going to cut the results off of your screen so we can look at the chase bracket and can kind of put together who is where. So we'll go to that chase bracket right here. Justin Gann wins it. You can see right in the middle of that bracket, the 30 car. Justin Gann is in the chase. So good for him there. 64, Jason Wells second. Another chase driver. He's about 2 under Gann right there on that bracketry. Then you go down to third. Willie Nelson's not in a chase, but he's fast. He's also fun to get up here in the broadcast booth when these things are over and interview him. So good run, Willie. Fourth is going to be Tommy Haynes in the 17, and yes, Tommy Haynes is another chase driver. Good night for him. Fifth, the 27 of Jonathan Cogswell, and Cogswell is another chase driver. So good run for Cogswell. In sixth was the driver we were on board with when the first caution happened, and he was caught up in it, and that's the 18 of Casey Duncan. Duncan is not in a chase, and he recovered from that incident nicely, is why I want to point that out, and brings it home sixth. In seventh was the 3 of Roy Fernandez. Fernandez is actually a chase driver, so he salvaged a good night after a little bit of problems. Gary May in the 10 car. He had his share of problems tonight as well under one of the cautions, and Gary's going to bring it home eighth. Then we go back to the 9th place driver, Andrew Mraz. He had big problems early. Mraz recovered well for the issues that he had. Brought it home in the 9th spot, and he is one of your chase drivers. Another driver was quite a bit of damage that made it work out for him was Mike Franklin in the 82. He is a chase driver. Franklin's able to bring it home in the top 10 here at Atlanta. 11th tonight's going to be Brandon Fries. And 12th was a chase driver, Blair Patterson. Patterson able to salvage a good night after losing his front end in a caution. So good job to Blair Patterson. Brian Tong going to bring that 7 car home 13th, and 14th the 02 of David Kamara. 15th was the 32 of Darren Clement, and 16th was the 11 of Gary Wells. And 17th was the 01 of Cody Sleeper, and yes, Sleeper is a chase driver. In 18th was the 33 of Terry Kahn. 19th was the 51 of Michael Mueller. Mueller is a chase driver. His problem started early in the race. And that's going to do it for your results here, it looks like. Yep. That does it. Wimbish was missing tonight. I didn't see the 56 car out on the tracks, so he's going to miss chase race number 1 here, it looks like. And that's the playoff schedule. You can see that Atlanta and Michigan. In Michigan, we're going to cut it down to 8 drivers. And we'll put 8 names in this bracketry in the middle. And then after Charlotte and Richmond, so it'll be after Richmond, we'll go down to the final 4 for the final race at Phoenix. So that's it. That's your results right there. All in a nutshell. So that's going to take us through round 11, chase race number 1 with the Swift Motorsports Hyperdrive Cup Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'm Vern Bradley in the WFO booth. I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight and who's going to tune into it later on. Make sure you give us a like. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that button too. And we got 4 more chase races to bring you right over here, or bring you over here at the Swift Motorsports Hyperdrive Cup Series. We look forward to all 4 of them and any races we do in the future, but definitely thank you for tuning in week in and week out. These guys put on a great show. Thank you to all the admins over at Swift Motorsports. I want to thank Justin Gann, the owner over here at Swift. And I will see everybody next week at Michigan Speedway. And that'll be chase race number 2 and a cutoff race. We're going to lose 4 chase drivers after that one. So make sure you tune into it. It's going to only get better from here. So thank you once again. Have a great night. And I will be back on broadcasting next Wednesday night. And then back here next Thursday night. So check out all our